Let's do a news of the day type thing. So I got some time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna dig around. This could be a little more of a casual type of news of the day type thing. First off, the questions that get asked at this time of year about the World Championships. The World Championships, the games are always on really early in the morning, and I don't have the energy to devote a lot of time to them. So I didn't see any of the game this morning. Finland beat Canada 3-1, and Kakko had 2 goals in that game. He will play against Jack Hughes on Monday when the U.S. and Finland play each other. And I don't need to really get into the whys of me not paying a lot of attention to the World Championship, but I really don't. Last year, Canada finished out of the medals, and it didn't matter. So, it just, again, the Stanley Cup has my attention. I pay attention to what's coming up with the draft, what's coming up with the free agency, and try to keep up somewhat as well with juniors as much as I can. I know Prince Albert just slaughtered Vancouver a couple days ago as an example. But anyways, there's a limit. What I'm saying is to the amount of hockey that even though this is a hockey channel and I'm a hockey guy, there's a limit to how much I can watch and pay attention to in any given week. And the World Championships just are at like the worst time for it. And I know comparisons get made to the Olympics, but when they have the Olympics, the NHL shut down, so it's easier for me to pay attention. And this past Olympics, the NHL didn't bother going or shutting down, so that led to a whole other problem. Anyhow, on other news, Dermott has had shoulder surgery, Leafs blue liner, and he's out for 6 months. So does this complicate things for Toronto? My answer to that is no. If it was 6 months starting in October, yes. It's 6 months starting in May, meaning he comes back in November. And, as long as he's 100% healthy, I would think that there's enough depth in the organization to overcome the loss of Dermott for a month and a half, 2 months, however long it takes. And the plan is to change things out this summer anyways, so we'll see, right? This might be a chance for one of those kids they have in the minors to come up and play, like Sandin, right? So, again, we'll see. Columbus Assistant General Manager Bill Zito is meeting with Seattle, or has met with Seattle, I should say, and we'll come back to Seattle. I'll circle back to it. But they are stepping up their efforts to hire a staff and get everybody in place, even though the team won't take to the ice for another 2 years. Free agent frenzy's upon us. It's that free agent time because as the playoffs wind down, we all know that we start looking at, hey, who's going to be available in July now that my team's out? Because for 27 fan bases right now, it's done. Season's done. Free agent frenzy on TSN has Panarin listed at number 1, Bobrovsky at number 3, Duchesne at number 4, and Dzingel at number 16. That is 4 members of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Notable, Erik Karlsson's the only one that breaks up that Columbus top 4. He's the number 2 on the list. Pavelski's at number 7. Nyquist is at number 12. So San Jose stands to lose some pretty good talent here as well. But I think we all believe Pavelski's staying. There's no way I can see him leaving San Jose. I can't see it. Maybe July 1st, there's a huge shock in for all of us when Pavelski ends up moving on. But I just don't see it. I think he's a Shark till he retires. And for Columbus, I think they're going to look to re-sign Duchesne. I think he's the one that makes the most sense. Panarin and Bobrovsky, the understanding's been they're likely gone this summer. We've known that going back to last summer. So Duchesne makes a lot of sense. And if they want to keep Dzingel, they probably can for a reasonable cost. The problem is, while he scored a bunch of goals for Ottawa, he didn't really score for Columbus. So one thing I could see happening with Dzingel is maybe Ottawa might circle back on July 1st. Maybe the fact that he struggled in Columbus might drive down his asking price in either term or cap hit or both. You can think about that, right? He was a healthy scratch at one point in the playoffs. So Ryan Dzingel is not a slam dunk if a team signs him this summer, which means he's probably going to a team I cheer for. Anyways, so we'll see. He's still one of my favorite players, but I do think those 20-plus goals he scored in Ottawa will mean that he's seen as being more of an offensive player than I think he really is. Now, SeattleNHLFans.com I have written on the board, and I will have it linked in the description to this video. This is fun, and I did this yesterday. You can vote on everything. You can vote on what you think the team colors should be, what you think the team name should be for Seattle. And not only that, but they want people to vote on the food that should be at the arena, the music that should be played, what music the people listen to, and polls on distance. I thought this was really smart. They ask how far are fans going to be driving to go to games. So, of course, I put 200 plus miles because it's a ways for me. But, yeah, I think this is a really fun idea. And I think this is a good way to drum up entertainment and value in the team before they've technically done anything yet. So people may wonder, well, why is Shannon wearing Vegas? Because Vegas had a brilliant plan to connect with the community. And they connected with the community, and there was this really strong feeling for fans that they were a part of something. The way that the practice rink is set up, everything to do with Vegas was done very, very well. The team name itself, well, that was Bill Foley's call. That was his baby, and you got this as a result. There was no consultation. Seattle's decided we're going to consult with the fans on everything. The name, the uniform, everything. So while I think they're leaning towards red and black, if you go to the site, you'll notice there's a lot of red and black on it. I think while they're leaning towards that, they're giving fans the right to choose whatever they want. The one that I liked was it asked about color schemes, and it said anything but blue and green and silver. And I thought that's kind of funny because that's of course the colors for the Seahawks. So they're saying anything that will be different from what the other teams are. But they do give the option on the site as well to pick the same colors to stay in that color scheme with the Mariners and with the Seahawks as well. So I'm really kind of excited about this. This is going to be fun to watch for the next couple of years. So they're going to hire their GM. They want everybody in place this summer, which seems ridiculous 2 years out, right? Not really. What Seattle can do is they've got a history, and they reference that on this site as well. The history of hockey in the city. So while Vegas was going, hey, look at this bright, shiny new thing we got here, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a party, Seattle's kind of marketing it like, hey, remember hockey? We all remember hockey, right? You guys excited about hockey? All right, let's do this. And they're marketing it heavily. And I think it's going to be a big success. I think that there's more of that. You could do more of that grassroots. I think there are people who will support the game already in Seattle. And not only that, but I know there was a lot of pushback about hockey in the desert isn't going to work. Why are they going to Vegas? This is ridiculous. This is greed. I think with Seattle, there's more of an acceptance. The Pacific Northwest, it feels like a hockey area. Although when you're in it, that's one heck of a city. Seattle's built, it's funny, Seattle's right down from Vancouver, and people would talk a lot about how Seattle and Vancouver are built. And at some point, I'll do a video on it, because like while we're in Seattle versus while we're in Vancouver, so probably using my phone. But it'd be interesting to do a video on how the cities are completely different and how they're built. They look totally different. Everything's different between Seattle and Vancouver. But yeah, they're about they're a few hours drive from one another, so I can understand why people might equate one with the other. The rain is something they have in common, although it rains less in Seattle than it does in Vancouver. But yeah, this is a fun little site. So there's no hockey tonight. If you're like, I'm kind of bored, there's no hockey on, what's going on? Go over to SeattleNHLFans.com and just vote. Just have fun with it. And honestly, I think, and I know people are going to say, Bodie McBoatface, people have a way of ruining everything on the internet. Yeah, I know, but I'm still an optimist. I still believe something like this can work, and that there's probably a way for them to weed out the trolly answers, or in a lot of the cases where it's a multiple choice answer, you really can't troll them. But yeah, I think it's fun. There's a place there too to ask questions. So for people who are new fans to the game, if you have a question or two you want to ask, it's right there. And that, I think, is good too. So for Seattle to be not only reaching out for fans who might go, yeah, we've had professional hockey in this city before, and reaching out to brand new fans, that's a bonus. And for brand new fans to the game, or people who might be in the Seattle area going, I don't know what the hell this hockey thing is, this channel is here for you as well. I did it with Vegas. I intend to do it with Seattle as well, where I do like the Hockey 101 type videos. I've got some of them on the channel, but there will definitely be more. And it's kind of a fun thing to go through. So Maybe even at a meetup at some point, I can point a camera at people and say, all right, explain hockey to people who don't know what it is. That might be kind of fun to put people on the spot. So, yeah. There you go. SeattleNHLFans.com. And no, they're not paying me for this. I don't have any kind of partnership with Seattle, with anybody. I don't get paid for any of this stuff at all. I've got all these jerseys and all this memorabilia. I'm terrible at this. But hey, it's fun. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always, including maybe how you feel about Seattle coming in and how you think they'll do. I think they'll do pretty well because they have the same expansion rules as Vegas. And before people say, well, GMs aren't going to treat them the same as they did Vegas, fine. Seattle will just draft all of the best players that are exposed for the expansion draft, and they'll still have probably just as good a team. And then everybody's going to get really mad when some really big name players go to an expansion team. So, hey, we're 2 years out. It's a lot of time for general managers to adjust, but some pretty darn good players are going to be members of the Seattle Kraken, Seattle Sockeyes, Seattle Storm, Seattle Eagles, Seattle Seals, Seattle. See, there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and I'll talk to you again soon.